Welcome to Nerdgrave's Top 20 Standalone Episodes of The X-Files. You know, I planned this as a top 10 list, but there was so much response from the community of fans that I couldn't limit it to just 10 episodes. I reached out to my friends and fellow fans in the Facebook group The X-Files Fans. There are almost 6,000 members in the group, and I asked them to weigh in on which episodes not connected to the main story arc which were their favorites. You know, those standalone one-off episodes. I feel like X-Files was at its best when it was emulating shows like The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone. Don't get me wrong, I love the major arc about the government corruption, Deep Throat, Mulder's sister, but some of those standalone episodes are sheer TV gold. If you've been thinking of going back and watching The X-Files, but you're just not sure if you want to make a 200+ episode commitment, watch a couple of these episodes and you'll be hooked. That's the great thing about this style of show, or at least these standalone episodes. You can watch them in any order, you won't miss anything, they have a tidy beginning, middle, and end. No cliffhangers, no prior knowledge needed. So I pulled the 20 most referenced episodes from the comments section, add a couple of my own votes, and then compared the list to IMDb.com to rank them because IMDb rankings also pull from public opinion. So I present to you the top 20 best standalone episodes of The X-Files. Number 20. Season 2, Episode 11, Excelsius Day. Strange things are happening in an elder care home. A nurse claims to have been raped by invisible spirits, and she has the bruises and evidence to prove it. Someone is using experimental drugs on the patients there, and things have gotten out of hand. Scully's intuition says there is a scientific explanation, but Mulder is not so sure. He's seen some evidence himself, and he won't rest till he gets to the bottom of it. IMDb rating 7.1. Number 19. Season 1, Episode 12, Fire. 3 British politicians have spontaneously combusted, burning to a crisp. Scotland Yard Inspector Phoebe Green, a former love interest of Mulder's, approaches him for help because of his talent with the unknown. Scully is suspicious of the motives of the Scotland Yard woman and does a little investigating on her own because Mulder is being very secretive. She ends up discovering crucial evidence that saves the lives of the people Green is trying to protect, as well as Mulder and Green herself. IMDb rating 7.5. Number 18. Season 2, Episode 19, Dead Calm. After a US destroyer vanishes for 42 hours, a group of sailors are rescued, but they have all aged tremendously. Drawing connections to the Philadelphia experiment, Mulder and Scully recruit a local skipper to take them to this ghost ship. Before they can solve the mystery, the same effect begins happening to them, and within just a couple of days they age 50 years. Scully's scientific knowledge is the only defense they have against the aging, and if not for her they would both be dead. IMDb rating 7.6. Number 17. Season 4, Episode 19, Synchrony. A mysterious cryogenics lab is experiencing a rash of murders. An old man is killing scientists working on the development of a cryobiologic compound. He freezes them to death with the experimental compound that apparently doesn't even exist yet. Scully is skeptical as usual, but Mulder knows something deeper and more sinister is going on than meets the eye. IMDb rating 7.8. Number 16. Season 6, Episode 18, Milagro. A writer becomes infatuated with Scully and moves in next door to Mulder. He begins to enchant her through his writing. Mulder becomes suspicious and learns that he may be behind a series of killings involving psychic surgery. The events and murders in his story begin occurring exactly as written. Mulder fears that only Scully's death will give the author the perfect ending he so desires. IMDb rating 7.9. Number 15. Season 5, Episode 11, Kill Switch. During the investigation of a mass shooting in a coffee shop, the team is led to the brutal murder of a renowned computer programmer. Along the way, they meet a computer hacker named Invisigoth. She tells them of a vast government conspiracy involving artificial intelligence that allows them to see everything and take action against all enemies. Mulder searches for the key to destroying an artificial intelligence program that has begun evolving on its own. While the tech is laughably outdated at this point, it's a great rogue AI story told in a way only the X-Files could manage. IMDb rating 8.0. Number 14. Season 3, Episode 3, DPO. This iconic episode features a young Jack Black and Giovanni Ribisi as teenage video game junkies with a twist. Ribisi's character has the ability to call lightning and control electricity after being struck by lightning himself. He is romantically obsessed with his school teacher and will do anything to possess her. His performance is chilling, as he displays a character with zero regard for life and a sadistic desire to cause pain. Mulder and Scully have to figure out these murders, but getting closer to the killer puts them in mortal danger too. Although this episode is near the bottom of this list, it is another of my personal favorites, and I think it's an excellent example of X-Files at its best. IMDb rating 8.0. Number 13. Season 4, Episode 4, Unruhi. When a passport photo of a murder victim is found with mysterious images in the background, Mulder begins to think the murderer may have psychically imprinted the photograph before murdering her. Scully, of course, tries to find a scientific explanation, but as the evidence mounts up, she must conclude something strange is going on. It appears the murderer, through his delusion, can actually project what he sees onto a photograph, and this allows Mulder to stop him before he murders his last victim, Agent Scully. Yes, Scully's the damsel in distress yet again, a trope that was used a little too often in the show, but this is one of the most creative and suspenseful episodes nonetheless. IMDb rating 8.2. Number 12. Season 2, Episode 13, Irresistible. The team are in Minneapolis hunting a serial killer who likes to collect pieces of his victims. The killer likes young women, and he takes a lock of hair or the fingernails of each victim as trophies. When he begins digging up graves to find more trophies, Scully becomes very disturbed with the facts of the case, and it begins to affect her performance. She has a lot more to lose, however, when the killer targets her as his next victim. After being kidnapped, her only hope is that Mulder will find her before the killer is done with her. IMDb rating 8.2. Number 11. Season 8, Episode 4, Roadrunners. Scully investigates a murder in a tiny Utah town when her car breaks down and she realizes the townsfolk aren't as friendly as they seem. She ends up being taken prisoner and implanted with a worm-like parasite that controls her like the rest of the people in the town. Agent Doggett does everything in his power to save her and her unborn baby. This episode is reminiscent of the second episode in the series, The Host, and reminds watchers of the later seasons of the show of the roots of the X-Files. IMDb rating 8.3. Number 10. Season 6, Episode 6, How the Ghost Stole Christmas. While not number 1 on this list, this is my personal favorite episode in the series. On a Christmas Eve stakeout, Mulder and Scully become trapped in a house haunted by the ghosts of two people who signed a lover's compact and killed themselves. The ghosts are more interested in Mulder and Scully's relationship than in any real troublemaking. This is one of the most heartwarming episodes of the series. IMDb rating 8.4. Number 9. Season 1, Episode 20. Darkness Falls. Mulder and Scully travel to a remote forest in the Pacific Northwest to investigate the disappearance and likely death of 30 loggers. They discover a body wrapped in an insect-like cocoon and soon realize that there is a nocturnal, prehistoric species of insect ravaging the area. Unfortunately, they've become stranded and they have to survive at any cost until they can get help. IMDb rating 8.6. Number 8. Season 3, Episode 17, Pusher. Mulder and Scully bite off more than they can chew when they attempt to solve the mystery of many unusual suicides. A man confesses to the murders, but it seems that he has the power to control people with his voice. The killer tries to get Mulder to kill himself and Scully, and it all comes down to a battle of wills between Mulder and the killer. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 7. Season 2, Episode 20, Humbug. In this comical whodunit, Mulder and Scully go to a small Florida town inhabited by circus and sideshow performers. There's been a murder, and the subjects are all unusual. There appears to be a culture of misdirection, and Mulder must navigate through the weird traditions and superstitions of these folk and suspend disbelief to get the answer. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 6. Season 6, Episode 21, Field Trip. Two skeletons are found together on a field in the mountains that were apparently the remains of a young married couple only reported missing 3 days earlier. The area where the skeletons were found is known for UFO activity, so Mulder and Scully go there to investigate it. Things only get stranger from there as the couple is found alive later, raising the questions of alien abduction. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 5. Season 1, Episode 3, Squeeze. Mulder and Scully search for an apparently immortal killer who goes on a killing spree every 30 years. FBI records have matched fingerprints, including a bizarre, elongated print which could only be the same man from 3 decades ago. To make things even more strange, all the murders take place in closed, locked places where theoretically no human should be able to go without leaving evidence of forced entry. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 4. Season 1, Episode 13, Beyond the Sea. In a strange twist, Mulder believes a would-be psychic is a fraud, while Scully is convinced that his predictions are the only hope in solving the kidnapping of 2 college students. To make things more interesting, the psychic in question is on death row, and Mulder believes he is using his dubious psychic powers as a way to manipulate the truth and save his own life. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 3. Season 5, Episode 5, The Postmodern Prometheus. In this odd comic book take on the Frankenstein story, Mulder and Scully travel to a small town after Mulder receives a letter asking for his help in solving a mystery. The residents of the town believe there is a Frankenstein-type monster living in the woods, and many claim to have seen him. Scully tries to find a logical answer, but she is shocked when she sees the monster for herself. IMDb rating 8.7. Number 2. Season 1, Episode 8, Ice. Reminiscent of John Carpenter's The Thing, Mulder and Scully head off to Alaska, where the scientists working on the Arctic Ice Core project have seemingly gone crazy and killed each other. They soon find that an ancient microorganism from one of the deep core samples is responsible. IMDb rating 8.9. Number 1. Season 5, Episode 12, Bad Blood. After Mulder takes a stake through the heart of a would-be vampire, he and Scully review what happened. They both remember the case quite differently. As usual, Scully looks for a scientific cause for what Mulder believes is a real-life vampire. IMDb rating 9.4. And of course there has to be a couple of honorable mentions. The community loves these episodes even though they're not really all that highly rated. Check out Ghost in the Machine, First Person Shooter, The Kalasari, and Aubrey. See the description below for a detailed list of the episodes listed in this video. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked this video and would like to see more like it. Click the red subscribe button and you'll never miss an upload. That's all for this video. Be sure to check out our other playlists for loads of binge-worthy content.